Well, it looks like Nintendo is actually filing a patent on the overall style of the upcoming Mario Kart World game. Initially, when I saw this, I thought this was very greedy. It was very much deserving of an eye roll, but after looking more into it, I think there is a bit more substance to this than what initially maybe comes up. I'm not saying Nintendo really, deserves a pass here by any means. I mean, that's for you to decide, but I think there's more to this than what you're maybe just thinking right now. Now, this patent was just made public 5 days ago on May 29th, but it looks like it was filed back in July of 2024. Now, keep in mind, this whole patent is for racing game mechanics, but it never name drops Mario Kart or even Mario. But with Mario Kart World coming out soon, and kind of with what the whole patent is about, people are very reasonably assuming that this has to do with probably an upcoming mechanic or a few different mechanics that are in Mario Kart World. So initially, as I said, I thought, and I believe many others are still thinking, that this whole patent, it has to do with like Nintendo trying to make it their thing of like an open world racing game that has multiple tracks on it. So like at one point, for example, in the writing of the patent, it says, so here's a problem that could come up in a game. To provide a game program in which various courses are set on a field, races can be run on each course, and a variety of courses can be set. Keep in mind, this is translated from Japanese, so some of the writing and like the sentence structure kind of sounds off, so maybe give that some grace. But it says, to the solution of this, in one example of a game system, a plurality of base areas and interbase routes connecting the base areas are set in the field. It gets really confusing. Yeah, when the game is started, a course is set that includes the interbase routes and intra-base routes set in the base areas, and a racing game is played in which moving object is moved along the course. And yeah, we get a lot of writing like that and a lot of different illustrations, which I will show in a little bit here, and all of it just kind of seems vague. But as I said, I came to the conclusion of like, I mean, are they really doing this? Like, what GTA has done, maybe what like Forza has done, trying to make it their own thing where you just have one big map and many different racetracks on it. But I don't think it is quite that simple, because you see Automaton, they looked this over and they said that, in other words, this patent seems to describe a racing game mechanic that dynamically generates courses at the time the race is about to begin, depending on the type of race. It is important to mention, though, that terms like automatic or generation don't explicitly appear anywhere in the patent's overview. Instead, it is described as courses being set up. However, the language strongly implies that it is about system-controlled configuration as opposed to manual configuration by a game dev or player. Plus, since the type of race determines what kind of course gets created, this implies that the system uses some kind of conditional logic to select and combine the right course components. Okay, so still kind of confusing, don't get me wrong, but I guess that makes it a bit clearer. Ultimately, it's never spelled out directly in the patent itself, exactly what this is going to mean for Mario Kart World. Like, what kind of races exactly are we going to get that's gonna have this patent? Basically, what it comes down to is what kind of mechanics are we going to see in this game that apparently Nintendo is feeling is very unique to Mario Kart World. Basically, what are we going to get from this game that we've never gotten from a racing game? Because, I mean, I never would have thought that I would have said that about like a Mario Kart game, but it actually sounds like we might get something like that. So now I'm going to play just a few different pictures here. I'm just going to let those show on the screen that are part of this patent. You can view even more in the patent itself that I have linked in the description, but yeah, I mean, essentially, we now just have to maybe piece it all together. What does it all mean? I mean, obviously, this whole game is going to be set on one big map, and then the tracks are going to be small tracks that's going to be, making up a part of the map. But other than that, it kind of sounds like we could have, I don't know, a lot of different like dynamic changing things with these racetracks and with the generation of it. I don't know if like AI is going to be involved. Maybe that's like playing a heavy role here, so that it's like a bunch of randomly generated things at the start of each race, so that like each race is, its own unique thing. I don't know, kind of brings me back to like the theory of like every copy of Super Mario 64 is personalized. Like this would basically be that, only powered by AI. I don't know, there are a lot of different ways you could put this together, a lot of different ways you could solve this puzzle. At the end of the day, I guess we really won't know until Mario Kart World is really out. Now, that is happening on June 5th, but given the absolute longevity of the last Mario Kart game and the success during it, maybe this feature is something that we're going to get later on with the life cycle of Mario Kart World. Like, I don't know if we're going to find out the answer to this question in 2 days when it comes out on June 5th, or maybe it will be a day one thing. Maybe it will actually be a very big part of the game itself. I don't know. It is very interesting and definitely very tough to piece all of this together. I don't know if somebody will before the game's launch, but maybe 2 days from now we will know exactly the, I guess, mysterious things they are talking about in this application for a brand new patent for Nintendo.